Hey, 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 what's going on, everybody? We are back. It is Thursday night at our new time, 8 p.m. I'm sorry. This is
8:15.
8, well, 8:15. Okay,
Yeah,
I say 8 o'clock,
yeah.
8:15. Actually, yeah, we come on at 8:15 instead of 8 o'clock. That last 15 minutes be wearing me out. I'm sitting there A2D Radio. This is Vetted. I'm Irving Fryer. This Big Dog Hollis Thomas. Talk to the people, Big Dog.
Well, first of all, make sure that you subscribe and like so that you get the notification every time. And Vetted is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips, the number one travel sports place for all the true fans. You go to phillysportstrips.com and hit the trips button. And we've already got up. If you hurry up, you can secure your spot with a deposit for the very first game of the season, which is in Brazil. everybody's looking to go to Brazil. I think we're going to put together one of the best trips known to man. My esteemed colleague Vincent is heading down there this weekend. This weekend to procure some quality spots for the beach, the hotel, and the game. The beach, hotel, game, and tailgating. We also do the rest of the sports beat. I am going to see the Phillies at spring training. So go to phillysportstrips.com and you get in on some of these quality events. Oh, tell them you heard on A2D Radio from the tank and Irv.
Listen, I want the beach, I want the hotel, yep, and I want the game.
Well, you know what I found out
in that order. I want the beach first, the hotel, then the game.
What's that? Well, see, I found out some interesting stuff talking to my base lifestyle guy over at base training with Andrew. We were talking about how the beach is far away from the actual city where the game is. So if you're just going over there, because when you hear Brazil, and I was the same way, when you hear Brazil, you think beach. But
that's not what I think when I hear Brazil. I think pretty ladies when I hear Brazil. They say that the people there are really, really gorgeous.
Yes, I didn't anticipate hearing that from you, but it's a.
Well, I didn't say I was going. I didn't say I was going to partake. I just said that's what the word is about Brazil.
Yeah.
So when I go, I'm taking my wife. Okay. I'm not going by myself.
Some of the tenderest morsels known to man. So, but one of the things I found out today from Andrew, he was saying that the beach is like a night's journey from where the stadium is. So if you're going over there, it's best to have a way to get to the beach, because I guess the beach, if they take it the other way, it's like 2 planes or something. So you spend a day trying to get to the beach. So, but what we're doing,
well, I'll tell you what.
Just go on there, check out the trip. I think we're going over. I think we're going to charter a plane, and then we're also going to have 4 days at the beach, and I think the rest of the time will be in the city by the stadium. So,
okay,
and they'll be chartered. So it's going to be a great trip, and I think it's going to be a great showcase of how the Eagles fans travel.
Okay, so go to y'all go to the game. I'm gonna stay at the beach. You go to the game. I'm staying at the beach.
I want to see the city too, though. So,
Big Dog, your mic is doing what it was doing last week.
Oh, sorry about that.
All that noise, that growling.
Oh, my bad. Is that better now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, it's not moving. Yeah, what did you do?
What did you do? Grabbed it.
Yeah, it's making it now because you're moving. It makes the noise when you start moving around. I guess it's rubbing up against your clothes.
It only happens when I wear this particular style of shirt.
What style of shirt is that? Might I ask?
This is I'm kind of a big deal. It's my Legend of Ron Burgundy shirt.
Boy, you got some of everything going on, man.
Yes.
I did a photo shoot by myself today. I got a new camera, new lens, and I set it up in the dark and put a few lights on me. I did a photo shoot by myself. I'm trying to learn photography, man. As an old man, 61 years old, I'm trying to teach old dog new tricks. So I'm gonna post them. Check it and let me know what you think about my photography skills. I didn't take them. Some people will take them. They take them in what they call raw, and then they put them in what they call a Lightroom or a photographer's adjustment platform, where they can take it and soften up the pictures and take out the blemishes and things like that. I didn't do that. I took it raw, took the pictures raw in what they call raw, and I'm just going to post them in raw, just how I took them, and let's see how they come across. But just trying to figure out something to do, man. Something else to do, keep myself busy. Listen, we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And this is combine time.
This you think is combine? It's kind of combine time, but to me, it's
Free
it's free agency period because one of the things that that goes down is that you just went down that they could put the franchise tag on players.
Right.
The agency doesn't start until March the 13th at 4 p.m.
Right. But before 14th are the combine. Is the combine.
Yeah, and so what I was going to say to you at the combine, that's where most of the preliminary deals get done. And I didn't know this until I became a unrestricted free agent. It's like when you become an unrestricted free agent, your agent is going down there with all the owners and all the GMs are going to be at the combine to look at the it's pretty much like a meat market, so to speak.
Right.
To see the young guys come out and display their skills. It was so there's like a lot of the deals for players even on other teams get done kind of like back alley treaties saying, oh, would you be inclined to offer this or what would you be willing to offer? Mainly it's because they get to see what's at the combine already, and if there's nothing at the combine to fulfill their needs as a team, then they'll be looking for the other guys or the other people. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about was, first of all, this coming offseason, we 16 million under the cap currently before they start doing some sexy stuff.
Well, Howie usually does a pretty good job of constructing contracts where we don't necessarily run out of money. We don't run out of cap space. He's pretty clever with that kind of stuff. Right,
but and also the other thing too is the biggest glaring need, and I felt like this the entire season is cornerback. The biggest glaring need defensively is cornerback because our corners are a little long in the tooth. Yet we got some really young guys. We need somebody who's in their prime, and we need somebody because I said this. I said if we're able to go into the free agency period, and I think we should go after Snead like nobody's business.
Okay, Jerry Snead from Kansas City. Yeah, he's definitely a shutdown corner for sure.
Yeah, you go after somebody like him and bring him in and then draft somebody. I was like, but the one thing with I was thinking about the entire time I was making my wish list up was the way Vic Fangio does. And there's a lot of his guys who he's coached before who flourished in his system will be available during free agency. Now, remember I told you I had a question for you? My question was this. I was going over offensively, I think we just need to stack some, add some depth and stuff. But the only glaring need that I felt like we needed was offensively was that third receiver that you're able to run that jet sweep on, or you fake a jet sweep and it opens up the run a little bit because we don't have that guy in the receiving core because if they could double team our two outside guys and kind of like bracket our tight end. It's not that other guy out there that that we don't have him. Covey, they tried Covey. Covey's just a fair catching king, and the other guys have yet. I want a defense to when that guy comes in the huddle, like, oh damn, we got to pay attention.
Well, Covey, we know Covey is not the dude. He was a little flash in the pants when he came out and played a little bit as that third wide receiver. It would be tough for a defense to double, AJ Brown and double Devontae Smith and bracket the tight end all at the same time. That would be a little bit tough. There wouldn't be anybody left in the secondary. They'd be all used up. But yes, I said this at the beginning of last year, before they even started the season, was that we needed a third receiver who can be a factor, not simply because, when they see him come off the sidelines, okay, he's coming off the sidelines, he's been catching a bunch of balls, we got to do something about him or at least pay attention to him. But just in case one of our starters goes down, if Devontae Smith or AJ Brown goes down, listen, whoever it is that's left, whether it's AJ or Devontae, they're going to get doubled if that third receiver that comes in is not a legitimate threat. Right. It's not a legitimate threat. That's one of the areas that I don't think it's first and foremost. I don't think it's at the top of the list. As a matter of fact, I kind of disagree with you in terms of what we need to acquire first on our team, on the Eagles team, I should say.
What do you think we need to acquire first, sir?
I think we need, because we have Vic Fangio, and like you said, we have young corners out there who did get baptized by fire this year. So they got baptized by fire. They had some decent moments, but they had more awkward moments than they had good moments.
Right.
I think Bradbury, I don't know what they're going to do about him. Apparently, it's more expensive to get rid of him than it is to keep him. I don't think that Slay is long in the tooth yet, or at least real long in the tooth. Yeah. And I think with Fangio coming in, he can coach these guys up, Slay and the rest of those young guys, well enough so that they can play good enough to be competitive next year. I think the first need on the team in its entirety is the linebacker position. We don't, again, when your lead tackler is your safety.
Oh God.
Which was, that's ridiculous. That means guys are getting to the second and third level before anybody's touching them.
Yes. And you know what, I was talking to one of my esteemed colleagues, TJ Twan Lee. He's just a analytical guy. That was the first thing he said was we need to get some linebackers to stop the run. It's like, and it was like the one thing that I conveyed to him was, once they got all of the current the offense coordinator and the defense coordinator stuff on tape, those first 10 to 11 games, now the rest of the league is playing chess with you, seeing what you can do. And we didn't have another move. We were playing checkers and they were playing chess. And then it was just like, it was like we didn't have a second move, because all they did was, like I told you last week,
same thing.
The rub double. It's like we didn't slant to make them, to pull that, get the guys upfield. We didn't run any stunts or anything like that. And the one thing that I hear you on, and that was the first person on my wish list. There's a kid out of with the Denver Broncos, Josie Jewell, the linebacker that played 2 years under Vic Fangio and flourished.
Okay, he's a free agent.
Yes, he'll be a free agent this year. Him, and there's a Patrick Queen and Levante Davis. Levante Davis. I don't think he's leaving Tampa Bay.
Okay,
but it was a kid named Frankie Lava from Mr. Lava from the Panthers. But I think that they're going to go after Eddie Jackson and this kid named Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel is from the Dolphins, and he played with Vic Fangio last year. And he had his best year under him. The thing that he's an edge guy, but this is the thing that they're having a problem currently with Hassan Reddick is that he can't drop. He's a good pass rusher, but he can't drop. Now, hold on. Now, with Vic Fangio on the edge, you got to be able to do both.
Right, I understand.
This kid did both. He blocked nine pass deflections, had a pick six, and he's a playmaking machine. But I think that's going to be the cheaper version of if Hassan Reddick can't drop in coverage sometime, because Vic Fangio comes with all types of exotic things.
Right,
but
exactly.
I don't think he's going to put Hassan in a position in a predicament to where he has to cover for long. You probably just have to cover a spot, but not be running with the damn running back all the way downfield.
Right. No, he can't do that. He can't cover space. He's not good at that at all. We watched him. I mean, I know most of our defense was confused because of the defensive change and coordinators during the latter part of the season. It was just a mess for the Eagles last year defensively, particularly in terms of the unity of that group. They just seemed to be way out of sync. But when you call the name Hassan Reddick, right, and you talk about an edge rusher, you look at the defense. All right, let's look at the defense, the Eagles defense. Just kind of in your mind, think of the different players on defense. Hassan is the best, if not the second best defensive player. Yeah. Is he not?
Yeah.
So this whole thing with Hassan and him possibly going or not going, how are you going to do that with he's your best defensive player. He's the most productive defensive. He was the most productive defensive player this year, even though he did not do well against the run, particularly when the run came at him or came outside of him. He didn't do well with that. You know, we had the numbers in the last show, but he's still the best defensive player that you have.
You know what else is the best? Is the 15-minute call to action for them to like and subscribe.
15-minute call to action. Listen, if you're watching right now, and we got to get our audience up for 8 o'clock. They're not used to watching us at 8 o'clock. They're waiting at 5 o'clock. But listen, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notifications button. It's going to let you know when we come on at 8 o'clock here on A2D Radio.
It's 8:15, man.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm telling them 8 o'clock so they'll be ready at 8:15.
Yeah, right. So
I thought we agreed to 8 o'clock. Okay, it's 8:15. I got to get that in my head.
I thought we agreed to 8 o'clock too.
That's we did. We did.
I was sitting in front. I was like, I told you, you got me going already.
I was back studio.
Good evening, Joy.
At 7:45. So I sat there for a half an hour waiting for y'all. That's all right. I'm not coming on till 8 o'clock anymore now. Y'all can start at 8 if you want. I'm not coming in till late.
Now you I know you didn't do the free agents. I did free agents. So what's on your draft list, on your draft wish list?
Well,
what's on your draft? What's on your draft? What's the number one? Who are you going with the number one if you had your choice, given the state of the Eagles right now?
Oh, if I'm going number one?
Yeah, not number one overall. I'm talking about
my first pick. The first pick in the first round that I would take.
Yeah,
it would definitely be a linebacker. Okay, now depending on, I mean, again, our agree or disagree question is, the Eagles should take or draft Jeremiah Trotter Jr. This year. Now, whether that's with their first pick they have in the draft, or whether it's the second pick in the draft, or whether it's the third pick in the draft, my first pick, as even if we do something in terms of linebacker in the free agency market, I'm still going to draft if there's a good linebacker, a formidable linebacker available, particularly Jeremiah, if he's available, I'm going to draft him.
Now to somebody in the thing was that's his brother with the knee surgery. The junior doesn't have the knee surgery.
Oh,
Josiah had the knee surgery. Now Nick was saying I think Josiah had the knee surgery because we saw them at the Hall
I just call him both Junior.
Well, Josiah is the one that went to West Virginia. He's the one who had the really bad knee injury. Junior, I don't think he has I think he had the surgery. But when you look at it, you kind of want to get somebody in that position, and there would be a great story to get Junior in there because I feel like he's one of the better all-around linebackers. And now to me, I felt like our cornerback situation where we didn't, unless we get Ladarius Sneed in free agency, or actually.
So what do you think the possibilities of that happening are? You know, because in order to, it's going to cost a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We probably should just try to get one of the linebackers that he's familiar with, or one of the other guys who are up and coming, who are young and up and coming, and not at that Roquan Smith $100 million plateau yet.
But you know what? Again, I'm not against Sneed coming here for the Eagles because he's a shutdown corner. Him and McDuffie were the two the best duo corners this year, and they showed that in the Super Bowl. They did a phenomenal job.
Now what if we do this in the first round? Tell me what everybody thinks. There's a game-changing wide receiver out of LSU named Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, he benefited from the Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, the dude was dropping the ball.
He was dropping the ball on him. Yep.
Yeah, on him. Now see some of the. I know you saw the mock drafts. Some of them have us taking Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama.
Okay.
And then some of us have us taking Mitchell out of Toledo, because Mitchell out of Toledo, he's a man amongst boys. He's put people on notice. I think he had a great Senior Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. I had to ask.
How many picks do we have in the first round? I didn't look at that today.
I think we only have one.
We only have one. We had more than one, didn't we?
No, I think last year we had more than one. Because remember we got Nolan Smith and
we had more. I thought we had more than one this year.
I think we only have one.
I gotta look at that.
And Lee Grimes is right. We do need to fix the defense, and I think it's like the one thing
that should be the focus this year. They shouldn't. we don't really need, again, I think we have the offensive line, coming into the season was touted to be in the top 1 or 2, the top 2 or 3, top five. It's still in the top 5. Yeah. It's still in the top 5. Yeah. It's not the best offensive line. I don't know we don't know yet what Jason Kelce's going to do, right?
Right.
But if Jason does happen to retire, I think we're going to be just fine with Cam Jurgens stepping in. He's got a couple of years up underneath his belt now. And
just let us know we have two second-round picks. Well, one of them better be a damn linebacker.
Well, that's a perfect situation,
right?
Because I don't think Trotter's touted to be a number 1 round 1 pick.
It depends on, you know what?
It could happen though. It could happen.
Now, we were talking back in the green room. You were talking about the combine. Now, I get like nowadays the combine is different from. Tell the people about. I didn't get to go to the combine, so there will be no deliverance from me. What's
well,
up?
there's not.
What's
listen,
up, PJ? Tell them what they had you do.
I didn't listen. There's no deliverance for me either, because the professionals, whoever came to our school, we were in winter conditioning, doing winter conditioning between my junior and my senior year. Between those 2 years, we're in doing winter conditioning. The pro scouts came to one of our winter conditioning practices, and we knew they were coming. And I think it was maybe like 10 different scouts there. And we ran 40s. That's all they had us do, run 40s. I ran a 4.2 twice, and that was it. So they invited me back when I came out of college. There were 2 combines. One was in New Orleans, and there was one in Indianapolis. They still have the one in Indianapolis. They did away with the one in New Orleans. I went to the one in New Orleans. When I got there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I got there, that's the one they invited me to.
Okay.
Asked me to come to. They said, just whichever one you want to come to. New Orleans happened before Indianapolis. So I went to the one in New Orleans, and I walk in. They say, listen, we're just going to give you a physical. You don't have to do anything. You just sit here in the stands and watch everybody else.
Wow.
That's what I did. So I drank soda and sat in the stands and watched everybody else. I didn't lift any weights. I didn't run a 40. I didn't catch balls. None of that.
Now, our esteemed colleague Ralphie just alluded me that we have 1 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks.
Okay. It's 2 second rounds. Okay.
And 3 and a third-round pick and 4 fifth-round picks.
4 fifth round. But you know what? That sets up. I think that sets up. Where are those second-round picks at? Where are they, high or are they middle?
It's our regular one, and it's somebody. I think we got one from somebody else. But the one thing that my boy Chuck is in here from Northern Illinois, and I don't think Chuck was privy to. I had to work out for all the teams that came in, and one of the guys that worked out that ended up doing the workout, he left his mark on the on the track out there. He took a dump on himself.
Get out of here. He was struggling that hard?
Yeah, he tried to
or was he nervous?
He took I could care less. He took off, and there was Hershey squirts everywhere. I was like, what
the That's just nasty. That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before. That's crazy. Crazy.
That's not what it's cracked up to be. Somebody let us know it's 50 and 54. Picks 50 and 54.
Okay. Well, I mean, the second rounders. I don't know if Trotter's going to be around by then. He's a good linebacker.
Yeah, but they got some other linebackers ready to head of the kid out of NC State who's like 6'5", 238.
Yeah. Well, he's in some of these mock drafts. I haven't seen him picked to be in any first round mock draft. Trotter. So he's like a second round, third round pick is what everybody's projecting him to be.
I wouldn't mind grabbing him in the second round so we could rest at ease.
That'd be great. That would be great. But I know for sure if Howie doesn't do something during the offseason about the defense, the focus has got to be on the defense. We don't necessarily need anything on offense. We've got running backs. We've got wide receivers. Yes, we can use a formidable third wide receiver. We have some depth, decent depth, the offensive line.
Well, that's what the draft I think is really going to be predicated on what we do in free agency. And it's like,
I'm sure it will be. it will have an impact on. But remember, 2 years ago, you know, it all happened at the same time. During the draft, we acquired AJ Brown during the draft, and the team went to the next level. So I'm sure some of it's going to happen during the draft, some of it's going to happen right before the draft. But Howie's pretty clever in his planning and his execution of his plan. I don't think he waited or thought. I don't think he planned on getting AJ Brown through that trade. Right there at that moment, I think that was planned, or he was in the process of doing that ahead of the draft.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they had a contract already in place, so know it had to be leading up to the draft.
Right.
And if they could work out an extension, then he would be willing to go, and he wouldn't cause no what y'all. And so when you see that new money,
well, you know, they have to talk to Devontae Smith this year, because he'll be going into the what is this, 1, 2, 3? Yeah, he'll be going to the last year of his contract.
We got active Ted here. Ted wants to know: do we think the draft should come before free agency, like in the NBA? I don't think so.
No,
because I know once you get the free agents in, they get to come in and start the draft. The guys are still like in school and stuff, and they're just coming off of a playing and stuff. You got to get them. They need to get ready for all the interviews that y'all did. I didn't really do an interview. All I talked to was scouts.
Well, I think that the free agency should happen first, because out of the free agency, I mean, those are guys who are currently in the league, so they've earned the right to settle themselves in, whether it's with another team or whether it's redoing the contract with the current team. They've earned the right to get themselves settled, themselves in place prior to the draft, prior to anything else going on, prior to time winding down and them not knowing, because these guys got families, there's a whole lot going on, and they need to know what they're doing. So I think guys who are already in the league, they've earned the right to have free agency take place before the draft.
Now, I'm gonna give you some of my wish list. Now, I did pick some stuff for offensive free agency as a wish list.
Okay.
I picked like Hollywood Brown.
What are we gonna do with him?
Well, you don't have to sign Quest, or Donnell Mooney.
Now he probably would come in and fit. Okay.
I think Donnell Mooney.
Why? Because he's not a big star.
Right.
He is an access player. I mean, accent player, I should say. He's an accent to the offense and to that position, the wide receiver. So he would come in, I think, and fit well, because he wouldn't come in expecting to start, and wouldn't get upset if he wasn't starting, and won't get upset and cause problems or be in a bad mood or be disruptive because AJ Brown's catching all the balls and Devontae Smith catching the balls, because they're the 1 and 2 guys.
Right.
And hats off, first of all, hats off to Devontae Smith, because Devontae Smith was the man before AJ Brown got here.
Right.
Devontae Smith came in his rookie year and broke the rookie records and did a phenomenal job his rookie year. Played every game, caught balls, played really well. He was the man. He was the go-to guy before AJ Brown got here, and Devontae not shrunk back into his place, because not that it wasn't his place, but he gave way to AJ Brown and allowed AJ Brown, without any, any ruffling any feathers. He gave way to AJ Brown coming in and being the star.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you look at it, it's kind of one of those things to where, you the young buck, and if he gets some catches, you're gonna get yours too. Well, it's a quality 1-2, 1A and 1A.
Right, but you know what? He could have been a little disgruntled, and deservedly so. Why? Because the Eagles were his team before AJ Brown got there. It was already Devontae Smith's team. AJ Brown was the new guy.
Yeah.
So similar situation as Chris T. Jones. Chris T. Jones was here in Philly, and then I came. And when I came, Chris T. Jones wasn't the number 1 dude anymore. I was.
Well, You did well. I mean,
That's what happened.
that's just what happened. It's
That,
like whoever's making. I've also learned whoever's making the most money is the number one guy.
mm. Well, not that I had more experience. I had been proven. You know, Chris T was new in the league. He was still young, first, second year in the league, and he had a decent year before I got here. And they were getting ready to sign him to a big contract, but then he got hurt, and he never was the same after that. You know, while I was here, my second year here, we did well as a duo.
Right.
My first year in Philly, but my second year he got hurt. Right. Yeah, he got hurt, and he never rose to the occasion after that. That was never the same.
We had him on.
Here's my question for you, or my comment. I want you to respond to.
Okay.
You know, we were again backstage. We were talking about the combine,
right?
And you know, this was new to me because I don't know. Maybe my head is in the sand, and I'm just not paying attention. But they just finished the HBCU combine.
Correct.
They haven't the combine for the NFL, so to speak, at Indianapolis. That combine hasn't taken place yet. It's going to take place next week, but they've already finished the HBCU, so they do it differently. Right. It happens at a different place at a different time, and for me, that's not fair.
Yeah,
because when you're looking at these kids from the HBCU schools, if they get drafted and they happen to play, guess where they're going to play? They're going to play in the NFL, and they're going to play with everybody else that was in the other combines who happens to get to the NFL. Yeah. So why are we testing them? Why are we holding a combine separately for them that is different or is made to seem different from the combine in Indianapolis, where the big names, so to speak, the ones who are definitely going to get drafted are coming too, where all the scouts, they make a bigger deal out of the one in Indianapolis than they do down for the HBCU school. Why are they having a separate combine? Because it makes it. I mean, it's separatism.
Yeah, a little bit. And now we don't want to. It's the last call to action is coming up right now. He's going to subscribe and like. Bring it up, Ralphie. There.
Bring it up, Ralph.
Call. Yeah, Ralphie. You'll like and subscribe so you'll know when we're doing this. Now, at first, when you didn't know anything about it, it was like they just started doing it, and it's
right. Why are they doing it at all?
No. But when you start talking, I start thinking about it. I was like, the one in Indianapolis, the owners are there, and the head coaches, and all the scouts and the GMs. They just sent some scouts down to the one that's for the HBCUs.
It's not.
So they're not getting the same coverage, and
it's not fair.
It's not the same thing. It's not fair. And you're correct. It's not fair. And it's like well, as you just alluded me to, I didn't know that they used to have the one in New Orleans. I was aware that they used to do some things, some ones that they had people pay for. Like the only mail I got from the combine was for one. It was like, oh, I got invited to it. Oh, they want you to pay to come to this. I was like, yeah, I'm not.
I ain't paying to come to that.
No, I'm not paying to come to that. No,
so it's not. I didn't know NIL going on back then. I don't have no money.
No,
I don't have any money.
No, it's like, but as you were talking about the difference in the difference, there's a bit of separatism, and it's another hurdle that I feel like that they need to overcome because you're not getting the same coverage. It's like it was on TV, but like you said, it wasn't covered by ESPN. It wasn't covered by everybody else, and they're doing it in Black History Month.
And even the scout, even the scouts, big dog, because they just send the scouts. You know, the owners aren't there, and a lot of the higher ups aren't there. You know, the head coaches and stuff aren't down there. So even the scouts that go, their interpretation of what's going on and how they address what's happening down there, they see it differently and interpret it differently as well. They're not looking at these athletes who are running 40s and lifting weights and doing all this testing to try to get into the NFL, to be graded to try to get into the NFL. Mm-hmm. They're not looking at them the same way as they are when they get to Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. They're looking at them from a lesser level. They're looking at them with a lesser eye. They're looking at them.
Could it be because they didn't do anything? Because there's been people that's been in the HBCU that have got invited to the combine. Now it's like when you look at it as well, You think they didn't do enough throughout the season to truly get invited to the real combine because not enough people came down? Because it's like if I know when the kid who plays with Colorado now, who was playing with Jackson State, if he was still playing with Jackson State, he would have got invited to the combine.
Okay,
it's like so if you're not dominating, it's like when you're not dominating, you're not gonna really get invited no way.
Okay, but here's the thing: then have a pro day. Don't have a separate combine.
I think they have pro days too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have a pro day where the pros come to see 2 or 3 guys, whatever it is, but don't have a separate combine. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a separate. It does. It's almost like we got a black combine
and a white combine.
And a white combine. You know, one's down south, the other one's up north.
Well, that's what Indianapolis. Indianapolis is like right under the middle.
Well, yeah, but it's north. It's cold up there, man.
Yeah.
Indianapolis is north of where we are in New Jersey and Philly.
No, it's south.
Indianapolis is south of us. It is.
You got to go 70 west, and when you go into St. Louis, you go 70 west, and you go through Indianapolis, and then you go up to St. Louis. I've driven it a bunch of times.
Okay, well, it's even with us then. It's not north of us. I'm going to compromise with you. It's even with us. But again, it's up north. It's not down south.
It's not down the real south. It's just in the middle. Yeah. It's in Tornado Alley.
It's like where Nebraska is, out in the middle somewhere.
Well, yeah. Speaking of Nebraska, Bill Belichick is. Bill Belichick.
You like the way I segue into that, huh?
Yeah, Bill Belichick is doing the Q&A and the X's and O type of seminar out in Nebraska. I still don't. I don't know what it. It's like somebody was like he cheated so much, and the funniest thing was Dan Marino. And I wanted him to say it so bad, but he didn't. They asked him who is Mount Rushmore quarterbacks. He's like John Elway. But he said Joe Montana, John Elway, and somebody. He said somebody else. He didn't say Brett, but he wouldn't put himself up there. He said he put Patrick Mahomes at the 4th one, and then he kind of mentioned Tom Brady. I wish I was there to ask him, what did your former coach think of Bill Belichick and what Tom Brady did? And somebody actually posted underneath there, he cheated. He's been tried and convicted.
He cheated.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? I don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to help Nebraska. I mean, they need all the help that they can get to try to get things back on track. They haven't won or had a successful season in years, which is extremely embarrassing. I just started wearing my red and black again recently. But man, I'm always waiting for somebody to say something when I got it on. So I don't understand what to me, that's almost like a desperate move. Why is he, it's like he's desperate to stay in football because nobody would hire him.
Right.
He doesn't have a head coaching job this year. He doesn't have nobody asked him to be a defensive coordinator. Nobody asked him to be any kind of assistant on their team. I guess for a short moment he had an interview somewhere. Was it Washington?
No, he had an interview with Atlanta. He had 2 interviews with Atlanta.
Okay, he went down there twice. That's right. But I think he rubbed them the wrong way. But for me, it's almost like a move of like he's desperate, trying to stay connected to football. Because why would he take a step? That's almost like a step backwards to go to be some kind of assistant or help.
Yeah, because they got their people in place
to a college team that's not doing nothing.
Yeah, I think he's trying to bring prominence back there.
Well,
you guys used to win national titles.
We used to. Yeah, back when I played. That was a long time. Well, actually, it was a long time ago, and they won a couple of national titles after I left.
I posted a picture when I used to wear number 44 with the short jersey on when I was in high school.
The tearaway jersey.
It was like I was playing.
Who was that? Mike Knox? You were Mike Knox?
No, I was just Hollis Thomas. I was number 44 because I just love the number.
Okay, Mike Knox Mike Knox when I played was number 44. He's a linebacker.
His ego is too big to take anything in the NFL that's not an HC spot. You know what, Nick? You're probably right.
But isn't that like humbling to go to a college, to
Well, he
step
had to-
down from the NFL to college. That's humbling.
Yeah, but like you just said, he probably talked himself out of every job that he got interviewed for. It's like, because sometimes when you come in there with it's like you, at some point, your success is it's what have you done for me lately, league, and for him to be going on job interviews like he just won 5 or 6 Super Bowls, you literally you kind of like sputtered in the league the entire time after you got busted cheating. It's like you can't get it done anymore. It's the what's saying? It's his choice.
Well, I think he's
hey, no, my bad. Nick was like, it's his choice to go to college, and
is he gonna go back and try to get his degree?
No,
he's gonna go back to college, try to get his degree.
Read what Nick said. Nick said it's his choice though to go to
college.
To
go to college in his mind.
In his mind though, laughing. Laughing his ass. But hey, the funniest thing though is like when you look at,
to me, it's embarrassing.
Okay, yeah,
it's embarrassing. It's humbling. It's embarrassing because that's a step backwards for him. It's he's reaching for straws just to stay connected. I mean, if he went to Alabama or Georgia to give them some advice,
but Nick Saban is no longer.
No, I know he's no longer there. I'm just saying the success those teams have had. They're highly touted teams. They're very competitive teams. They're the top echelon of college football teams. If he went to one of those teams and to give them some advice to talk X's and O's, okay, I can see that. But Nebraska is right now is at one of the teams that's at the bottom of the barrel,
and they're really, and but I think he's only going there as some type of consultant, and to teach X's and O's, and he's
going there to get consolation. He's going to be consoled, not to be he's going to get consoled.
He's not going there to consolate. He's going there to get consoled.
Yes, he's going to be ministered to, so he can deal with the fact that nobody wants him on their team in the NFL right now.
So
he's gonna hide in Nebraska. I don't understand.
I don't understand that one either. I just when I was going over stuff to talk about on the show, it popped up on the screen. And I was like, oh hell yeah! I was like, oh man! I was like,
so let me ask you: Do you think that it's possible that him visiting Nebraska and whatever it is he's going to be doing out there could turn into a job for him?
Matt Rule, I think may have coached under him at some point. So it's the good old boy league. They try to take care of the people who took care of them. So I'm looking at it like that.
But you know what? I believe the problem that Belichick had, Belichick as you call him, that he had was his ability or inability, I should say, his inability to communicate with this generation, with this next generation that's coming to the league. He is an old school. He's been around in the league for a long time, been coaching football for a long time, and he's old school. He's used to doing it the old school way. Right. And the mentality for these younger players now who are coming into the league is different than what he's used to dealing with or what he dealt with in the past. And the problem is there's a communication gap, and he's unable, in my opinion, to communicate effectively with this generation. And that's why, again, there was such a drop off. You noticed it. The switch was turned off when Tom Brady left.
Right.
And it was the team turned into a bunch of turned into mush when Tom Brady left, because Tom Brady was the communicator to the team, to the players, not Belichick.
No, not Belichick, no.
Tom Brady was the leader and the communicator. And when Tom Brady left, Belichick lost his mouthpiece to the players.
Exactly. And then there was a lot of, and I think they bumped heads a little bit. That's why Tom Brady left, due to one, they both were cheating. That's I'm not gonna
emphasize that. You're gonna emphasize that.
And then once they got caught in all their schemes, and then if you look at it, they once they got caught in all the little crap that they were doing, and then if you look at some of the things that were coming out where he was talking about, Tom his entire time had his own nutritionist there, his own people to work out with, and all this other stuff. But now, as the last few years, all of a sudden it's a problem. It started being a problem that he had these other guys there.
Well, he was treating Tom Brady old school. Word came out that he was dogging, treating Tom Brady pretty bad.
Well, yeah, see that the last couple of years, all of this stuff started coming out about it. All of a sudden, being the problem about his people being around the team, and so as you saw, it was basically self-destruction in Bill Belichick's own way, because you got the one guy who knows what you're doing and knows how to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not going to get the same latitude anymore because you're being watched like a hawk now.
Right.
All the little crap he was pulling early on that nobody wishes to acknowledge. All that crap is null and void. You just got busted in the press box,
right?
Recording Cincinnati Bengals stuff. So
old school using modern technology to get ahead.
Yeah, it's like
to gain an advantage. Well, they say, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying to win. That's what they say.
Well,
I said they, not me.
Okay. I'd rather just kick your ass. I'm sorry.
Well, I would too. That's
fair and square.
Fair and square. Yep, fair and square. Let's line up. Yeah. Mano y mano, and me kick your behind.
Yeah,
and
stripe to stripe, and then at some point, you're coming up against athletes that are just as good as you. It's like a game that's pretty much a series of battles. It's like whoever wins the most battle ends up winning the war. That's what it's like. But it's like especially out on the defensive and offensive front, you're not gonna win every one of them. It's like that dude over there is drafted for a reason. Occasionally, you're gonna get your ass whooped. And then
long as you whoop more than he's whooping.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to whoop more than he's whooping.
In the immortal words of my compadre there, my road dog, bullet wound. It's like it ain't the record. It's the first. It ain't the first time it is. It ain't gonna be the last time. It's like just don't let it be all the time.
Just don't let it be all. But you know what? I think the game. Now that we're going there. The game in and of itself, when you talk about the players, whether it's lineman against a lineman or receiver against a corner or, a linebacker against the back, it obviously everybody has talent. The ones who rise to the top, the cream that rises to the top are the ones who have the mental toughness to be able to hang in there and endure and do it over and over and over and over again for the longest extended period of time. When you look at the Michael Jordans, what made Michael so great was his mental capacity, his ability to be strong emotionally and mentally and psychologically, because everybody's got talent.
Yeah.
But the one that sets those apart, the ones apart who stand out, who become the Hall of Famers, the ones who are the greatest in history of sports are the ones who have that unique ability to carry themselves at a higher level, a higher standard mentally, huh?
You know what it's called? Discipline.
Well, yeah, it's called discipline. Yeah.
No, I'm just like because what you call it?
But that's where it starts. It's in your mind.
Mike Tyson was saying he's like, you ain't gonna be sugar honey iced tea without discipline.
Right.
So now,
everybody starts because it's a great idea because they're excited. It's great to start, but discipline is what's going to keep you there.
Yeah, it's like if you truly want to be great, the discipline is
you
what
got to have
need.
discipline. Yeah.
Now I had another question for you. Now this is me playing slightly devil's advocate.
This is what I like to do: fight the devil.
Well, no, I was saying okay. So if I was saying we don't have to make a giant splash, but there's two defensive linemen who are on my wish list. One, Christian Wilkins. He's a devastating menace out of the Miami Dolphins, who was just in this defense and created as much havoc as anybody known to man.
Okay.
The other one is Justin Maduka. Yeah, from the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like pairing them with the other two young bucks and mixing that a little bit of if you don't bring back Fletcher Cox, if you bring back Fletcher Cox or not, I feel like this will be that guy that we were missing. You remember last year somebody was asking me what was wrong with Josh Sweat, and I told him there was no more Ndamukong Suh, there was no Linval Joseph.
Right. He wasn't. There was no Hargrave. He had the year before.
And there was no Hargrave.
Right.
It's like if you don't have that interior pressure, the outside guys are just running upfield for nothing.
Yep.
You have to collapse the pocket, and I feel like with the two young guys that we got a lot of with them rotating with a third guy who's just as devastating as them and just as young as them, man. And it will make the linebacker, and then that linebacker who's able to harness them and like be that quarterback on defense, because it was like, if you look at it, we've been talking about this whole time, and our wish list basically, and the people that are with us, all our wish list is defense.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
right,
you have
right.
to start, because we need something other than Blankenship back there in the secondary.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying Eddie Jackson or Curl.
But you got to get a linebacker to keep him from getting back to Blankenship.
Yes, exactly.
Running backs from getting back to Blankenship.
Yeah, that's what Jewel was coming in, and then also the kid Devin White and Patrick Queen. They're both going to be free agents, and also what's the name? Drew Tranquil. He's a linebacker for the Chiefs, and Terrell Dotson. They're both the type of linebackers that we need. That around the line of scrimmage. And the one thing that I know that everybody got sick and tired of is our guys in the middle on pass coverage getting just looking like they never played football before. Looking like a little league team.
Right,
looking like the Keystone Cops running into people.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying my wish list mostly is linebackers and safeties. But it's like, if you can't get one, you should be able to get the other. So I had a long list of people. The only offensive people I put up was the receivers, the game changer receivers that I mentioned to you.
Right.
And I also put Austin Hooper down there, the tight end, because last year when Dallas Goedert got hurt, our tight end we were poo-poo platter.
Well, yeah, we don't, and I don't think we trust the tight ends, the backup Calcaterra.
Yeah.
I don't think we trust him.
I don't think we trusted him enough. Yeah.
But I think he's played enough that if we were to give him the opportunity, because he has made a couple of plays, he did make a couple of plays. We don't go to him when Dallas is down. 2 years ago when Dallas, what did he hurt? His head, his neck, whatever he hurt. The next 3 games, we didn't even throw a ball to either one of the tight ends.
So
they don't trust them.
The fact that you can count their plays, that their plays on one hand, lets you know. That's why you bring in competition, because you don't want to be caught. You don't want to be caught with your pants down, and that's one of the main things I feel like free agency is for. Is not only competition, but quality backups to when you to get you that bridge.
But to have quality backups in every position in the NFL on your team is very, very hard to do. Why? Because of the salary cap. It's hard to do that because of money.
Yeah.
But let me go back. That's what teams are doing now. They're rotating those guys in and out, and they're keeping them young, trying to keep as many guys as possible close to that rookie contract, as many as possible. So let me go back to talk to respond to what you were saying with the defensive line.
Okay.
And what was going on with Sweat, and how come he wasn't as effective as he was 2 seasons ago, because Hargrave wasn't there, and because didn't have the help in the middle, didn't have the push in the middle. And that is true, because Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, Carter had moments this year where he was shining, and we could see his potential greatness, the potential greatness in him. But let me go back to Jordan Davis. I haven't seen anything out of him really at all in 2 seasons. It's been 2 seasons now, and I'm not saying I'm writing him off, not by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got to produce this year, man.
Yes,
he's got to do something that is making an obvious difference on the defense. He's got to contribute this year. Otherwise, he's a bust.
Yeah.
If he doesn't come through this year, he is a first-round bust. I'm giving him his 3rd year.
Yeah.
He's got this year to get it together, but he's got enough time in now. He's got enough experience now that he ought to be able to. He's got enough people around. He's playing right next to Jordan Davis.
Right.
I mean, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter. I'm sorry, Jalen Carter. He's playing right next to Jalen Carter. With those 2 in the middle, man, they ought to be able to wreak some havoc this year.
Dominating.
So
the other thing to what you're saying about them, I think it should come to them a lot better with another guy that that will motivate them. But that takes play when you don't realize the humbling of getting playing time taken away. That's a humbling experience when somebody else is doing better than you. It's
Right.
like, because when you look at it, we didn't have anybody really to go to because he wasn't getting it done, like you said.
Right.
And I watched him too, and it was I fell for both of those guys because we didn't give them anything other than line up and try to win.
And
they get double teamed every time.
And that was a part of the problem. The defensive scheme was a part of the problem for them. So again, we give them this next year. That's what I'm talking about. Vic Fangio comes in. He knows how to use those guys. He knows how to run an effective defense and do what these guys have the talent to do what they do, put them in a position to do what they do best more often than not. So I'm gonna give him this year. But man, he's got to start producing. But let me say this. This just came to my mind about, again, the linebacker position.
Okay.
Because over the years with Howie Roseman, he really hasn't. People say he doesn't care about the linebacker position. He doesn't do anything to enhance the linebacker position because he just doesn't declare it that important. Well, if he's a football guy, and we know he is, he's helping, he's the general manager for one of the more elite teams in the NFL. He has to understand the old school mentality when it comes to football. In order to win, you have to run the ball. In order to win, you have to stop the run.
Right.
And you stop the run with your front line and your linebackers. He has to know that. He has to. Maybe he just, in my mind, maybe he just doesn't know how to evaluate talent at the linebacker position.
I think it'd be better this year with Vic Fangio because he loves Vic.
Well, Vic will help out. Yeah, Vic will help him out.
And then it's like, and I feel like Vic Fangio. A lot of people think that he blitzes a lot. He blitzes sometimes, but he plays chess.
Right, so right. Like, he just moves guys around and creates different looks. That's all you got to do. You don't have to blitz. Just create different looks and make the quarterback, make the offense think a minute.
Offensive line, you
make them have to think about it for a second.
Yes,
and that's all you need to gain the advantage.
Greg Meisinger says pressure does bust pipes. When you put that pressure on folks, it does bust pipes.
Well, you know what? I still it's a different game today. These quarterbacks, they give up the ghost when they're getting pressure, as opposed to back in the day when quarterbacks used to get slammed on their heads.
Yeah, looking down
and it was no penalty. That creates a whole different mentality when you're standing back there in the pocket and a lineman comes and grabs you and slams you on your head. The next time you stand and it's not a penalty. And the next time you're standing in the pocket, there's a level of intimidation that has entered into your mentality and you do things a little bit different. These quarterbacks today have never experienced. Now, I'm not saying that if they played in that era that they wouldn't play well. All I'm saying is it's a different time, it's a different era, and they've never experienced that before.
Yeah. You want to get some history in right quick?
It is time. Oh, it's 9:14. Well, we just ramble on, don't we? Yes, it is time for History with Hollis.
Yes. History with Hollis is brought to you by Philly Sports Ships. Go to phillysportships.com and put your deposit down for the Eagles Brazil trip. As I said earlier, my trusty compadre is going over there to do some recon work, or you can hit any of the other trips. We're going down to spring training. We got the Phillies, the Flyers. We just did the Stadium Series with the Flyers, the 76ers, and they have the London game with the Phillies and with the official travel team for the Philadelphia Union, who won the other day. Today is February the 22nd. 2024 is the 53rd day of the year.
February's gone already, man.
Yes, it's just about 313 of these puppies remaining. Today's national holiday is National Chili Day. Also, cook a sweet potato day.
Cook a sweet potato, not sweet potato pie, just a sweet potato.
Sweet potato, just sweet potato. Has also Margarita Day.
I don't like margaritas.
Were you a Boy Scout?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, today is the Scouts Founders Day.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but okay, cool.
I know. It's also Wildlife Day and Walk Your Dog Day and Play More Cards Day.
Play More Cards Day. When's the last time? Hey, when's the last time you played cards, man?
It's been a minute. Uno is the prevalent game right now because a lot of people
Uno.
a lot of people have house rules with Uno. So
If you're a black man, what game?
Spades.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
I play spades and dominoes at will.
If you're a black man and you don't know how to play spades, I'm taking your black man card.
We're going to start with some events starting in 1784 when the very first United States ship to trade with China, which called the Empress of China, is sailed from New York.
Okay.
In 1856, the first national meeting of the Republican Party, which happened here in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. In 1879, the very first Woolworth, the Great 5-cent store, opened up in Ithaca, New York, by Franklin Winifred Woolworth. It failed almost immediately. It failed almost immediately. That particular Woolworth. And so, but there was in 1914, there was the Woolworth building was the tallest building in the world at the time. The one in New York City, the Woolworth building, in 1914.
Okay.
1907, the very first cabs with a taxi meter on it began operating in London. And then in 1909, the Great White Fleet was the first United States fleet of ships to circle the globe. They returned to Virginia on this day. It was a fleet of 16 battleships.
Wow.
1933, Mary Campbell sets a land speed record. Guess how fast he was going.
What was he in?
He was in a car. His car called the Bluebird. His famous Bluebird car down in Daytona, Florida.
He went 190 miles an hour.
272 miles per hour.
Whoa, good God.
272.46 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yep. In 1935, airplanes are no longer permitted to fly over the White House. 1962, the Philadelphia Warriors center, Will Chamberlain, he sets a then record of 34 free throws attempts in one game. He hit 19 of them as they rolled.
They were fouling him. They were
like nobody, because they ended up winning 139 to 121 over the St. Louis Hawks.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't know about that. Didn't know about the St. Louis Hawks.
No, I didn't know about the St. Louis Hawks.
Mm-hmm. In 1967, the slingshot goalpost and the 6-inch wide border around the field were made standard in the NFL.
Okay. All right. In 67, that was 67?
Yeah, 1967. Yeah.
Okay.
Then 1980, the Miracle on Ice happened when the United States hockey team persevered and beat the heavily favored Soviet Union 4-3 to go on to win the gold. And in 1997, the Dolly the sheep, the very first cloned mammal. And then in 2019, the day will live in infamy. It's the day in 2019. Jesse Smollett, he got suspended from Empire for that false police report.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Also on this day in 2019, Robert Kraft was caught in the sting in Florida.
Was it today? Down in Florida?
Yes.
Isn't it amazing how people with a bunch of money make that stuff go away?
Yeah.
Because guess what? It happened and you heard about it one day, but the next couple of days you didn't hear about it anymore.
You didn't hear about it
You didn't hear about it anymore.
You didn't hear about this either. In 2021, El Chapo was recaptured. His wife, Emma. She was arrested in the United States on drug trafficking charges and trying to bust her husband out of prison.
Chapo. Didn't El Chapo escape before? He escaped one time, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was trying to escape again in 2021. His wife got busted, and they swept that under the rug. I got some birthdays real quick today. It's George Washington Day as well, because in 1732 he was born. 1918, Al Gross was born. He was the one who invented the walkie-talkies.
Okay.
Bud Yorkin, the producer and director of All in the Family and Sanford and Son, was born in 1926. Chet Walker, basketball player for the 70s, the 1967 76er championship team, was born in 1940. On this day, the Doctor, 1950, Julius Erving.
Dr. J.
Dr. J was born. Also in 1944, Robert Kardashian was born. Part of the best defense team known to man. 1962, Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, was born. Rest his soul. 1963, Vijay Singh. 1969, Sean Jefferson, receiver. 1972, tennis player Michael Chang. 1975, Drew Barrymore. And 1986, the hated Chris Tucker lookalike Rajon Rondo. History with Hollis was brought to you by Philly Sports Trip. Go to phillysportstrips.com and pull up a trip, or go to Philly Sports Shirts and get my damn Skippy t-shirt and some vetted apparel and my Maximizing My Sexy t-shirt. You heard it here on A2D Radio. I'm Tank, and that's her.
That's it. and we out of here, y'all. Look, we over time.
Yeah, we are way over time, but it's okay.
We'll be back next week. We'll be talking about, because the combine will have started next week. We'll be talking about the combine, if there's any standouts, if there's any flops, if there's any
next
projection.
week, the workouts don't begin until I think the workouts is over.
Is it Friday? They don't begin until the weekend.
The 29th. But I think all the preliminary stuff, the weight, right, and all that stuff, that starts early on the days you said.
Right, and I'm sure there'll be some next week. There'll be some movement in free agency and all, so we can report on that, talk about it, see what we're doing. But Howie Roseman needs to get on the ball and needs to address these issues that the Eagles have on defense. Otherwise, guess what? It doesn't matter that we have Nick Fangio. If we don't get some players on defense, he's Vic,
Slick Vic the ruler.
Slick Vic, it doesn't matter. If we don't get some players, he's going to be out of here just like he was out of Miami.
I think he was out of Miami because he wanted to come back here.
Right, yeah.
If you saw the love fest that I saw when Nutso was here.
but you
Jonathan Gannon was there.
Players get coaches hired and players get coaches fired.
Yeah, I could do that. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Yeah. We out of here. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Here, A2D Radio on Vetted. I'm Irving Fryer. That's Big Dog Hollis Thomas. Next week.